been working with a lot of clients who had various assessments that they've used in the past. And what we were looking for is a tool that could be agnostic. But we also wanted something, technology that would nudge these behaviors, because we knew that our clients were spending so much money and time to do the initial training around these assessments, but then the behaviors weren't happening and people weren't recalling what the preferences of others were. So we were really drawn in by this idea of automated nudges. The calendar feature is really so important, because you and I might go through some session and understand, if you're a D or an I or whatever your preferences or your profile might tell me. But then I'm not going to remember when we go to meet with each other. But what the calendar option does is it reminds you that morning, hey, you're going to be meeting with Evan or you're going to be meeting with Brielle. Don't forget they like this, right? And those nudges are what we need to be more inclusive, to really give people what they need to show up to the meeting. We typically coach large teams around inclusion and belonging and how to drive high-performing teams. And so the way we use it is when we start working with a client, we'll ask everyone that were on the team to complete the profiles. If they've had a bad meeting with somebody, go back after and say, what could I have done a little different or better? And then once you get in there and you start using it, then hopefully they'll start using it before a meeting. We use it as an icebreaker a lot as well. So if we're doing an in-person training session, we'll show one of the nudges or hints about someone up on the screen and we'll say, is this you? And people enjoy that because they're like, wow, they nailed that one. That was totally me. When Cloverleaf gives you the tip, the nudge, the hint, whatever, however you want to phrase it, it tells you what to do about it. So it gives you an action. If you're just always receiving opportunity areas without the what do I do about it, that's not as helpful, right? And that's where you start to get defensiveness and pushback. So what I really like about it is it tells both you as the receiver of your own insights, but also the person that you're working with, how to overcome it. And to me, that's the game changer. Is yes, it's nice to know what it is, but I want to know how I can avoid any trigger areas or accomplish what I want to accomplish, right? And when I've done some of the sessions before with assessments, a lot of times you'll actually put people in a room and say, if you're this, go stand over on this side of the room. If you're this, go in this side of the room. And what ends up happening is people start to see where the leaders are. And oftentimes the leaders are in one area clustered, right? They start to look at that and go, well, then I need to be like them. So I need to act like a certain way. Well, what Cloverleaf does when it kind of makes this agnostic to any assessment, it doesn't use that language. Instead, it uses the behaviors of the person. And then can we take those behaviors and say, well, I can do that behavior, then yes, I can do those behaviors, but not try to act like what I think this profile is. So I think stripping away all of those very specific frameworks and just instead guiding us on how to be a better leader, how to be a better coworker, how to be a better team member, that to me is worth everything.